one, actually.
Yeah, I can see that. I think Art of War has been a little bit inconsistent with how much they've been playing and what iteration of roster they're bringing, shuffling a few players around at the moment. So I can understand where you're coming from with that one. I think if they bring like their full 5 core here and they play well, it should be a close game. But if Mind Freak just turns up and plays decently, I think they win probably, I don't know, what would I say? I think 7 times out of 10, 7.5 is pretty reasonable.
Yeah. I'm looking at their last matchup that they did play, which was the EPL match that they had. I guess that was a best of 3, but it was a 2-0 there for Mind Freak. The maps were pretty one-sided as well, 13-9, 13-2. I just have to have a quick look and see. Was there any shenanigans going on there? Yeah, there was. That was a game where Alistair was playing for Art of War, and there was also, it looked like, a bit of a substitution happening on the side of Mind Freak as well. So maybe not exactly the greatest of barometers as to how this matchup might well play out. But yeah, again, just having to sort of keep in mind that when it comes to Art of War, it's always a little bit of a question mark as to who's going to walk into the server, how much pep have they been putting in. And I think they did have that purple patch, towards the back end of last year, but I'm not sure that they've necessarily been able to recapture that in the same way in 2025. And that's what has got me kind of worried about their chances of really going deep in something like an ESL Challenger League or any of the other qualifiers that are sort of popping around. They've actually had a pretty shocking start to the season as well. Just hasn't really gone their way. So a bit of a stepping up to be done from Art of War, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'd agree with that sentiment. I think, we kind of talked about it when they were in their heyday and their like honeymoon period, so to speak, where they were playing really well. They were getting pretty close to qualifying for some international events. In some cases, literally a round away from qualifying for an international event, if I remember correctly. Had a good run of tournaments, but we already have kind of said it in the past where they are a team that had a good run when there was a lot of parity in the scene. They were taking advantage of a lot of infancy from a lot of these teams, and they didn't manage to ride that into, I wouldn't say not any meaningful placements because they were pretty consistently placing at the top of these tournaments. But in terms of, there's one spot to qualify and you didn't qualify any of the times when you showed potential to. And now that same level of form is not there. It feels like they may have missed the boat a little bit, especially if they can never really rediscover that level of form. Or maybe it's just a case of other teams have improved to the point where they've kind of surpassed them now.
All right. Well, we've talked enough, I think, about this matchup. We'll have to just wait until that one gets into game. There's some issues on the player side, as I'm told, so we might be waiting a little bit. But I wanted to quiz you as well on some of the other happenings that's been going on. I don't know if you saw Rooster are changing out DPR, and so he's out of the roster. And as far as I understand, Danny G is going to be the one that's going to be coming in for Rooster. So give me your thoughts on that.